Welcome back for another quick tech video in our MSP mini-series. My name is Aaron and I'm a technical support specialist here at VirtuWorks. Today we are continuing the MSP control panel series under the assumption that the viewer is comfortable logging into the control panel using their peer account. If this sounds unfamiliar, please refer to the first video in the series titled Control Panel, Accessing and Navigating, where those topics are covered. Let's proceed with logging into the CP and authenticating with the texted or emailed code or even the Authenticator app. Now that we have successfully signed into the control panel, we will start by clicking on Active Users within the Hosted Organization section. This section will list every account created for the organization. It is not completely abnormal to see a user with more than one account listed here. This can occur if the company has more than one email address or multiple companies fall under the umbrella of the main organization. There are some options available from the Active User pages that allow for selecting multiple users and performing tasks for that selection. These tasks include, but are not limited to, sending change password requests or canceling them, setting the user's location, enabling, disabling the account, etc. This can be done by putting a check mark next to each user you need to perform a task for, select the task from the Actions drop-down list, then click the Apply button. While on this main users page, I would like to point out the icons to the far right next to each user. These icons are indicators for resources and/or licenses that have been assigned to that user. Hovering the mouse over an icon will display the alt text with its description. This is great for getting an idea how licenses and resources are distributed across the organization and who has access to what. Clicking on the name of any user in the list will open their MSP profile. From inside the profile, nearly all information for that user can be accessed, viewed, or modified. You'll notice there are some tabs along the top. Each of the tabs houses a different set of options that can also be modified or viewed. The General tab holds the common information about the user, display name, personal and professional contact info, and password settings. More info about this page in a moment. The next tab is Office 365, and from this tab, the user's Office licenses can be added, removed, or upgraded. If the goal is to upgrade or downgrade a license, first click the red Remove button to clear out the current license. Once the page is refreshed and nothing is listed under assigned licenses, click the drop-down menu labeled Licenses and select the appropriate option, then click the Add button. The page will refresh again, now listing the newly added license. Click Save or Save and Exit at the bottom. The Personal Folder tab permits the creation or modification of the user's personal cloud folder. Typical settings for this drive are 5 to 10 gigabytes, with a soft quota type, the drive letter set to U, and a check mark next to Enable Access-Based Enumeration. Setup instructions allows the peer account accessing the profile to send a welcome email to that user's email address. The Member Of tab displays any enrollments to security groups or distribution lists. Security groups manage things like access to specific folders or resources. Distribution lists are catch-all email addresses that can be assigned to deliver to multiple users without the sender seeing any of the recipients. The box along the top will accept search inputs and self-filter based on what has been typed. Once the selections have been made, click the Save Changes button or Save Changes and Exit. Save Changes and Exit will take you back to the user list. Saving only saves and allows more changes to be made to the account. Archives allows the ability to convert the user's mailbox into a PST file that can be attached to another user's Outlook to access all mail received prior to the conversion. No new emails will arrive there. That requires delegation, which we'll cover in another video in this series. The Notes, Photos, and Passwords tabs are as straightforward as their names imply. None of these fields are crucial to the user account and are mostly for informational purposes intended for VirtuWorks technicians to consult. The final tab, Mailbox Settings, is separated from the rest and can be found all the way to the top right of the other tabs. This link will open to that user's Exchange profile page. That page is similar in looks to the General tab, but is more email focused as opposed to just general information. As mentioned previously, we will go into detail about that portion of the control panel in an upcoming video in this series. So back on the General page, towards the top you will notice it says Display Name. This will dictate how the user's name is displayed, such as in the From line in an email or their sign-in name to the PC if they're signing in with Azure AD. The location for changing a password is right under the display name. Best practice is to generate a random password using the button to the right. Be sure to copy the password using the copy-paste feature to provide to the end user, then put a check mark in the box below next where it says user must change password at the next login. This will afford the user the opportunity to set their own password once successfully signed in with the temporary password. If the user has already supplied their chosen password, you can apply that in both boxes and click the Set Password button. Next is the setting for the MSP device profile. This should not be modified without consulting your VirtuWorks account manager. Location should be set to the place that person works from. If there is only one location, it will likely just be labeled as main. If the company has multiple locations, be sure to set that option accordingly. This helps with setting the contact information correctly when tickets are submitted. The address section should be populated based on the location settings. Be sure to set the region or state correctly if blank, or else any changes made on the pages might not save. A notification will alert the user if this setting requires attention. It is also important to have correct contact information, especially the phone numbers. The mobile number is crucial for any users that have MFA enabled for their accounts. Service level is set by VirtuWorks and should not require any modification. Company information allows for the entering of additional information about the user, such as job title, department, their manager, birth and/or hire dates. Contact information fields can be populated or left blank. And that about wraps up this installment in the MSP Control Panel series. Hopefully this information will be useful to staff members assigned to carry out IT-specific tasks regarding account management. Please be sure to keep an eye out for other topics in this series where we will cover the different ways a delegated peer user can manage IT resources. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to receive an alert whenever new content is released. Again, my name is Aaron, and I thank you for joining me today.